So we finally left Sagu Dampa, or Moonrock Bay, after I think probably our longest stay in one place since Jumaja, when we first started our trip. Truly special place, and as our new friend John, who we met in the anchorage, said, it's the jewel in the crown of the Anambas Islands from what we've seen so far. So what we've done now is we've now gone around the outside, the eastern edge. We put the drone up, had a bit of fun and games with the drone, trying to get some shots of Esper under sail. So this area, there's a lot of reefs, and that's the bottom end of Moonrock Bay there. Now, that's where we were yesterday in the dinghy, and all around that area is reef, and then all the islands on the southern part of this bay here are also surrounded by reef as well. So we've decided to come around the back. Visibility is a bit hazy today, and there's not much wind. There's a little bit of wind at the top end of the island, but not much. So this is a whole new aspect now we're going to be seeing of the Anambas Islands.
We were on our way from one anchorage to the next, and then all this weather came in. So we thought we better duck in somewhere and just get a bit of protection. So we've come in here, and it is stunning. You've got high hills covered in forest all the way around, jungle all the way around, and we can really hear the insects. It's beautiful. But we've also got fringing reef the whole way round. So we dropped the anchor in 20 metres and we've got 50 metres of chain out. But we have ended up quite close to the reef, so we don't think we'll probably stay here. We'll see how it goes. We'll let this weather pass. Maybe have something to eat and then perhaps move on to the next one.
After the crappy weather from yesterday, we made it into another lake-like anchorage, and behind the glamorous Elizabeth there's a guy doing what we should be doing, which is trolling a line around this reef. Now this is a kind of horseshoe-shaped bay, another bay that reminds us a bit of Turkey. These huge high mountains, very green, and there's a fringing reef all the way around. Through there is a spit of half a foot of water, and on the other side is a resort, which isn't a resort because they never finished it.
It's a pretty still and lovely morning here on Pulau Penjel, so I thought I would take the kayak out, get into the shade and just see what's between Espa and the shore. So far I'm seeing a lot of coral, much of which is in pretty good condition. Some of it's died, but that coral stretches all the way to shore. Over there. I have a feeling that not too many people come here. It's been very quiet the day and a half that we've been here. So I made it to the beach area. It's very clean, it's very quiet, there's nobody here. I did see a monkey on the beach from the boat yesterday, but it's none around at the moment. Behind me, you just see in the water here, that's a mangrove growing. There aren't too many mangroves on the beach here. Right opposite on the other side of the harbour here, you can see a complete mangrove area, which is great. Mangroves mean that the place is healthy, and like most other environmental interesting things, of course they're threatened, so whenever you see them live and thriving, it's always good news. Here's the coral. It's pretty clear here, as you can see, and there's some pretty nice looking coral, some happy looking coral, and some dead coral, which is what we've seen everywhere, but plenty of new growth with those at the very tips. You'll see those little white dots. That means the coral is growing happily away. Lots of small fish in there swimming between the coral as well. It's lovely at this time of the day. It's really nice, and also I haven't got the sun beating right down on me, so I'm quite enjoying that. When you go into the shallows, the coral doesn't look so good. It is dying, it's covered in dust and whatnot, but as you come further out, where there's a drop-off and where it's a little deeper, then you've got a lot of really good, healthy coral. Fish don't seem to mind one way or another because they're everywhere. But it's very pretty here. It's going to be interesting to get under the water. Also looking forward to having a good old kayak right round the whole bay, going over to that little spot here, which isn't quite a spit, but almost. And yeah, have a look later, see what more we can find.
This is the island of Pulau Penjel, I think it's called, if my memory serves me correctly. Looking back out down there is Espa at anchor, and this little island here is one of the few islands where they started building a resort, but presumably they ran out of money because it's been in this current state for a number of years now. You can see it quite clearly on Google Earth. There's a couple of old buildings here which now look like they're being occupied by someone, possibly a fisherman, since there's a fishing boat just here. Washing is out. They have cultivated and planted a couple of coconut palms on the beach, although there are many coconut palms already, so there is some evidence of you know, some kind of development, but not a lot. Anyway, we just thought we'd come ashore because it is once again a rather idyllic setting. Got to be careful, lots of coconuts, some are ripe, some are green, so I suspect quite a few are falling each day. There's some ridiculous amount of people who die each year with coconuts falling on their heads, so we have to keep an eye out for those. But those are the, you can see where Liz is standing over there, the other coconut plants, which are smaller, and this rather splendid little beach here.
It's easy to see why somebody chose this spot for a resort. It's absolutely magnificent. You've got this great stretch of white sand beach here, a spit, another beach, lagoons on this side, lagoons on this side, coral everywhere. And over there you've got another really pretty island with more white sand beaches. I mean, what more? What more could you ask for?
You sound speechless.
I am.
This is the one island that they've developed, or at least started to develop. And we can see that by this brick wall here. They started to build some kind of jetty. And that's pretty much as far as they got. So it'd be interesting to know what the story was here and whether they are going to continue to develop it or not.
Let him go. Let him go.
What's going on here?
Well, there's a very young family here, taking up residence in one of the old huts, and she's just reeled in this line, and at the end of it is a turtle in a net, and I don't really know why.
Two house.
So there's two houses up there, yeah?
Okay, two.
Yeah. As in...
Two house, Tolam.
Tolam. I don't know Tolam. But, and we can walk up here and along.
Look, the our
Okay.
So from our house.
Okay. And this is your house?
214.
Okay.
1, 2, 4, 3.
Okay. Okay. And you are Mancing?
Yes.
Mancing.
Yes.
This is your boat.
To Pantai.
Okay. Okay. Understand. Okay. Good.
2 boat. 2 boat.
Yeah.
2 boat.
Yes. Yes. Our boat is just there. Yeah. Yeah.
To come back Barat.
We go around here.
Okay.
Back to Terempa.
Bowling.
Yeah, I don't know bowling, but that sounds about right.
Yes.
Okay, well I didn't quite get all of that, but from what I could make out, he was saying that there are either 2 or 3 families here, and of course he's a fisherman, and that's his fishing boat down there. He was also explaining that there are a couple more houses up here, and these are the ones that I've seen on Google Earth. I don't know if anyone actually lives in them. Why would you want to live up here when you've got that beautiful beach to live by? But just walking up these, see we've got concrete steps here. It's quite unusual for any of these islands that aren't inhabited. And over the other side, this is the view that every yachtsman and woman wants to see, is their boat at anchor on its own in a turquoise bay surrounded by palm trees and coral. Our friend the fisherman has directed us up the hill. I remember looking at this on Google Earth. This is part of, or was probably part of the development. Somewhere at the top there are some more buildings, and it's a good thing that Liz and I are doing this, because in the other islands we've visited, we've cheated with the drone. We can just send the drone up to get these bird's eye views, but it's a good bit of exercise this, especially on the legs, which apart from swimming don't get much exercise, so it's a nice workout. But of course, typically like mad dogs and the English men that we are, it is midday and it is rather hot. Well, we found the houses at the top of the hill, and they actually have glass in them. There's definitely evidence of still some kind of development. Lots of bats flying around above us, making the most of the dark and the cool. Oh.
Well, the bats came down really, really low and we ducked, and then I was following you and I said, I hope you got that on camera. And as I said that, a bat came past and hit me on the head, and that has never happened before. I'm not scared of bats, but I don't really want to have one hitting my head.
Apa khabar?
Baik.
Apa nama lu?
Nama saya Linda.
Ringa. Okay. Jamie.
Suami saya
Apa nama lu?
Ali.
Ali. Okay, Ali. Jamie. How do you do? So I'm here with Zaya, who was absolutely fascinated by the drone. We've just been up to the top. We've looked at the brickwork that's going on up there, and it's quite an achievement, I have to say, considering the fact that they have no roads. It's just a dirt track. And down here at base camp we have loads and loads of bricks, and she's just explained, and I think I'm correct in saying that she and probably her friend are the ones who are building. They're actually building the work up there, so they are taking these bricks by hand to continue working there, because we thought that it was a project that had stopped, run out of money, but it looks like they are still developing it. Whether it's for these guys or whether it's for a resort, we don't know.